I see so many people that put off their responsibilities for life. Um, and it's not worth it to me. Like, I'm not gonna fight with my girlfriend over Twitch. I'm not going to risk losing my job over Twitch. I'm going to still stream to Twitch when I can. I'm going to enjoy Twitch. I'm going to enjoy the people I'm with.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Stream Key Podcast. It is Monday this week. We're doing things a little bit differently. This is our weekly show here at TRUgaming, where we help you level up your stream on Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, anywhere else. I'm GreenChord, the media marketing director at TRUgaming. And this week we got three special guests with us coming onto the show. One of which is arguably new. He's been on over 100 episodes, so we're going to meet him a little bit more. But first of all is Susie QQ, actually, joining us back again. Susie, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Green?
Good. Thanks for coming on at the last minute here at the show. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Also this week, guys, I'm going to try and give you guys a little bit more of a refresher on the guests, since we're 100 episodes in now, and at this point, you might not remember all the guests that have been on the show. So, Susie, can you just give us a brief reminder of what you do on stream?
Hi, I'm Susie. I sculpt things on Twitch. I make collectible style figurines, like this, for instance. And I also am the co-host of Tru's new TruFam After Dark show on Thursday nights at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Brand new, just started last week, right?
Yes, it was lots of laughs.
It was very funny. I'm excited about that. We got all these new shows coming out, which is super exciting. Next up is Shady Pyro, who I think you're on episode 4 or 5, Shady, is that right?
Something like that. It was very early in the life of Stream Key.
Sure.
Talking audio.
How you doing today, man?
I'm good. Good. I'm Shady Pyro. I play video games on Twitch and do things very badly. Wait, actually, do we do Twitch? Is this Twitch?
Yeah, this is Twitch.
What year is this?
I'm actually very famous for changing my name every 3 months.
Oh my gosh. As someone who has to edit all the links on our website for our streamers, Shady, you've given me a lot of work to do over the past couple months, so thank you for that.
I'm making you earn your paycheck.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, we're going to meet you a little bit more in a second, because I want to do a bit of a longer refresh, since people probably don't know you at this point, for those who are now listening. But last but not least, we have Velokk coming back on the show. Welcome back after your week off, Vel. How's it going?
Thank you. It's going very, very well. How are you?
Good, man. How's your trip to Seattle?
Dope. It was so much fun, dude. It was a great time. It just felt like, I don't know. It felt like I didn't belong there. It was crazy.
Awesome. Well, I think it'd be cool to talk about that too later today if we have some time.
Cool.
Can you do a quick refresh on your channel as well?
My channel, yeah, I'm Velokk, and I play mostly FPS multiplayer games at a slightly above mediocre level, and that's pretty much my channel.
There you go. Slightly above Shady level. That's what I'm hearing.
Yep.
Cool. Well, if you guys haven't seen the show before, the way this works is the first 5 minutes or so, we're going to meet Shady a bit more, since he's newer to the show. And then this week is pretty unique because we have so much news to talk about. Twitch announced a ton of changes. So we're going to go through those in the news section. I might actually work in callers during the news section this time, because there's so much news to talk about. So stay tuned for that. And of course, if you guys can't call in, you can just ask questions, add comments, and stuff like that in the chat. But first of all, let's go ahead and meet Shady a bit more here. So Shady, can you tell us sort of when you started streaming, how long you've been on, and the journey of your stream so far?
Streaming. I think I'm close to like 3 years. And like Vel, it was mostly first-person shooters. And then I jump around in simulation games and stuff like that. My journey with streaming has been a love-hate love.
Okay.
I love streaming. It actually started because I hated the job I was at. And so like I put in a ridiculous amount of hours into streaming at first. And so that's where that started. And like I love it. I met some really cool people. Septox. I met that guy.
I can appreciate that. Yeah.
You know, I really hate the about me section on Twitch. I hate talking about myself, and this is the same thing. But yeah, I mostly play like simulation games, shooter games, and talk about pop culture, toys.
Right.
That's really it.
Gotcha. What do you mean
yeah.
about the love-hate-love relationship? What's that like?
I love Twitch. I hate Twitch, but I still love Twitch. You know, it's
That's so descriptive.
Yeah, that's really opens up my eyes now. Now I understand completely.
Let me just say exactly what I said, but with slightly more words.
Fill in the blanks, all right? Come on, work with me here. Like I said, I do things badly. English is not one of them. Like I love the community aspect. I hate all the drama that goes around in it. And I think some of that will touch in on the combo today. Especially like how they handle TOS. That's just terrible. And so like there's other companies out there that do that better. And so that's always been like the hate thing with Twitch. But at the end of the day, like I've been on Twitch, I've been on Facebook, I've been on Mixer. And at the end of the day, I still love Twitch over them all.
I'd agree with that personally too. Cool, man. Well, I just want to kind of refresh a little bit there since you've been on a little while. So hopefully that should be pretty good to kick off things with. So I guess we'll go ahead and jump into all the news. Let me pull that up here. So most of the stuff was announced at the TwitchCon opening ceremonies, which they've now replaced the keynote with opening ceremonies, which I think is basically just a longer keynote, and they add some more random shows and things in there. First of all, this wasn't actually announced, but the rebranding that you probably already saw, you can see it right now on the channel. The Twitch logo and glitch have been slightly changed. Overall, the site colors, fonts, and look have changed. So now it's a slightly different shade of purple. I think the logo is actually kind of black now in most spots, and the purple's a background color, which is a small thing. But the fonts have also changed across the site. So this is something that I've seen a lot of different opinions on. Some people really do not like the changes at all. Some people think it's pretty good. So I'm curious what you guys all on the panel think. Susie, what do you think of the rebrand so far?
I don't like the standard font.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like how black dark mode is. It's way too dark and it causes too much contrast. Hurts my eyeballs.
Yeah.
But I like it. Other than that, it seems like it's really fluid and works well. Friendly.
Right, I did hear the contrast thing brought up a couple times from people, especially because you've lost that gray and now it's mostly just real black across the site. So that white really pops out at you. Shady, what do you think about the rebrand?
I concur. No. I like the logo, the almost like the 3D aspect of it. More of a pop. I like the dark mode, but that's just because it's dark like my soul. I mean, I like the very, very darkness. I wish I could change the like general font color of text, but okay.
Vel's dying over there.
Shady just answered that with "I'm depressed inside."
Well, I mean, you gotta bring your honest feelings out in the show, man. Whatever they are.
So, I guess so.
Vel, are you depressed by these changes as well?
No, I love the new look. To be honest, I think it's cool that they're trying to make things look different. Yeah, I'm excited. It's pretty cool to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree personally. I think I actually wasn't a big fan of it at first. Vince and I were talking on Friday because it seemed like they lost a lot of. If you just go to the pages now, it's really kind of like Susie said, just one big color. They lost kind of that purple top highlight bar, and at first it kind of felt hard to get around the site, but I feel like it is kind of cleaner overall, which is nice. And I feel like it also might do better for kind of promoting on other avenues. So like it just might be a more appealing logo to people who are new to Twitch. I think that's pretty cool. I think the font, like Susie said, is not the best for readability. A lot of people have brought that up, so hopefully that'll see some tweaks, or maybe we'll just get used to it. But overall, I think it's pretty cool. Next piece of news. Okay, there's a lot to go through. Twitch Studio was the first thing they talked about. So we talked about this in the show before. This is basically Twitch's own OBS type studio, but it's built in their own system, and it just kind of like Streamlabs OBS is designed to make streaming really easy for new people. So you can just download it and it's pretty plug and play for streaming. This apparently will be available to everyone in November, and the beta's already out. Did you guys use the beta at all? Have you seen the Twitch Studio beta?
I'm signed up for it.
Okay, but you haven't got it yet?
No.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it, honestly. Anything that makes it easier for people to get into streaming.
Do you think you'll use it?
Me personally, no.
Okay.
I am slightly more advanced at using the settings and stuff. So OBS is just easy, cakewalk.
Yeah.
I think for like, I help a lot of people with their tech stuff. And so something that makes them easier so they can just next through it would be a godsend, because people are terrible.
I think it's cool they're trying to hit the new streamer market a little bit more, because one of the things they brought up is streaming is still pretty hard to do, which I agree with. I mean, it's definitely gotten a lot easier than it used to be, with like Streamlabs OBS doing a lot of the work for you now, and even OBS having built-in features. But you still have to kind of go out of your way to find those programs, as opposed to just finding a built-in Twitch app, which I think could still open up a lot of new people to streaming. And I think they are trying to hit that market a bit more. Vel, what are your thoughts on Twitch Studio?
I think it's cool. It's not something that I would be using just like, for the sake of, I'm very used to stream or OBS Studio. It's very, very beginner. And I think it'll be awesome for new people to come around. I really hope that Twitch decides to do something like a little bit more advanced, though. Like, I wish that they had like two options where like you're like a noob and you don't know anything, or like you know what you're doing, but this just makes things even easier for you. I don't know. I think it's cool, but I won't be using it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, those of us who've already learned the systems aren't going to go use a new beginner-friendly tool because we don't need it, but
right,
could be helpful. Susie, any thoughts to add there?
I mean, not really, because everybody already said everything this time. I think it is fantastic, though, because it's not the easiest to understand how to actually get into streaming, even with Twitch's old data page where it talks about all these browser things. You don't even know what this browser thing is. You're talking about, what is this studio software? I don't understand this, right? I think it's definitely beneficial for new people coming into the world of Twitch and streaming and all that.
Right. Definitely agree. So that's pretty cool. That's coming out in November again at some point. Next part was they announced both the next TwitchCons. So EU TwitchCon is going to be in Amsterdam on May 2nd through 3rd. It's pretty cool. I know we won't be going to TwitchCon EU. I don't know if any of you guys will, but I'm sure our EU viewers will be excited about that. I heard last year's was pretty good, or this year, I suppose. So it's cool to see they're continuing that. And then also TwitchCon NA, also in San Diego next year. So they're just going back to the same place, September 25th to the 27th. So about the same time as this year. It's interesting that they're kind of doing the same place this time, because it seems like in the past they were trying to jump around different areas. So maybe this will be where they kind of keep doing it from year to year at this point, instead of jumping around. Vel, you have any thoughts on this?
Not really. I mean, I'm excited that they're doing more TwitchCons. I don't know. I'd like to go to the EU TwitchCon next year, but I don't know. I'm excited to go to next year's TwitchCon, though. I think I'll be doing that.
Right. I heard the San Diego Center is pretty good for conventions. Because I know we went to San Jose last year, and I wasn't the biggest fan of that convention center. So San Diego could be cooler. Shady or Susie, anything to add on San Diego there?
I wish I could go.
Yeah.
Seconded.
We all do, I think. Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, San Diego Convention Center is pretty good. They do San Diego Comic-Con there.
Have you been there before?
I have not. That's on my wish list. I keep the tickets tend to go on sale after I pay rent and before I get paid again. So
not a great time.
Tends to be that with like every convention I want to go to. It's like, hey, on sale.
Yeah.
Hey, I get paid in like 2 days. Can you wait? And like San Diego is literally, you get in at 12 p.m. like right at noon, and they're sold out at 12:30. So like, there's no like certain shows you go like TwitchCon, you could have got tickets for months. San Diego, no, if you don't get tickets the day they go on sale, you're not getting tickets.
Yeah, that's true. Khaleesi in chat asked, where is TwitchCon East, which was something we've talked about in the past. Shady, you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Javits Center, bring it to New York City. Greatest convention ever.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. They already did TwitchCon EU, which feels like a big step. I don't see them really doing a TwitchCon East for a while. Vel, you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. It takes too much, like as far as logistics, to move all their employees from the West Coast over to the East Coast because they have more than one office, and I think it'd just be a lot of work. I think it'll be. I think it's a minimum of 4 or 5 years until they even consider doing an East Coast event.
Yeah, it's really hard to get all that gear across the country. We're on the opposite side of that at TRUgaming here. I mean, that's why we're not at TwitchCon, because if we could just drive down there and take our stuff, sure, it'd be awesome, but it's very hard to fly stuff over there. So
You ship it.
Even shipping, though, I mean, it gets expensive. So
Fight me. I'm doing New York Comic Con this week. You should see the stuff that people get shipped out.
Oh, I believe it, but like, how long has Comic Con been running?
New York Comic Con, like 12 years?
Yeah, TwitchCon is a much newer convention, so
10 years, 12 years.
Yeah,
I mean, San Diego Comic Con's been going on for like 50 years.
Exactly. So that's the point I'm trying to make.
New York is still relatively newish.
Yeah.
But like what these people ship out, it's impressive.
I believe it. Okay, move on to the next part. So getting into the real updates now to the site. Dashboard updates are the first thing they announced. This is kind of simple in my opinion. They just are making the dashboard more customizable, and I think this actually goes in hand with the Twitch Studio update. So it sounds like they're taking a piece of Twitch Studio and just slapping it onto your dashboard. And the best way I can describe it is kind of like Stream Deck buttons. There are these little action buttons you can create on your dashboard now that are like, create a clip or start this chat mode or change the title, like whatever action button you want it to be, and you can drag and reorder them. So that's kind of cool. I wasn't super excited about this personally, but anybody here particularly excited about the dashboard updates? No? Yeah.
Stream Deck makes all that stuff easy without having to tab out. So
Yeah.
It might be good for new streamers like we talked about earlier, if that stuff is kind of new to you. But
and my only thing about the quick action is, did they not look at Windows 8? It's the same buttons.
No. Copy their homework, bro.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. One thing I was very excited about, though, is the channel page updates, which got announced. There's a couple changes coming to the channel page. They're kind of redesigning the whole look of the channel page. The biggest features that are coming, though, are channel trailers, which, if you guys are familiar with YouTube, I think that's the same kind of idea, where you go to the channel and you're presented with this 15 to 30 second little overview. I'm not totally sure on when it plays, because in the opening ceremonies they gave a couple different examples. I think Zeke talked about like when you come to a channel for the first time as a new viewer, you would see it even if the streamer's live, which is kind of confusing. Or maybe if you see it when it's offline. I'm not really sure how to roll out first, but I think anyway it'd be a really cool feature to see, just because offline pages have been a huge issue for Twitch in the past, so this seems like a great idea to combat that. They're also adding a schedule feature, which is really cool. So it's actually built into the site now. You don't have to use, there are a bunch of extensions out there that do schedule display for you, and you can create events, but it's not really a schedule. So now there'll be a dedicated tab on your channel page where you can lay out your schedule, and it'll kind of create these graphics for you based on the game you're playing and what time, which I think is really cool. I think we'll definitely be using that a lot at TRUgaming because we do a lot of event stuff, so that'll be super useful. There's also some small things like I think they're redesigning the about section a little bit. So maybe changing the panels to be in its own about section. And then there is also a tab for offline chat. So maybe they're trying to push more the desktop app a little bit more, or whatever that looks like. We'll have to wait and see. The only thing about this is they quoted it as rolling out later next year, which isn't great in my opinion. I mean, like,
no.
That's almost a year away potentially if we're talking after like the second half of next year. So I wasn't super excited about that. But what do you guys think about all these updates to the channel page, Vel?
I think it's cool. I think the schedule thing is one of the cooler parts. Just for any like newer streamer that like you don't have a set schedule. Like if you can like just like it might not be a consistent schedule at all, but you can at least like tell like your community like I'll be live on these days specifically. Like that's really cool and that's really useful. And people have wanted something like that for a long time. And for new streamers, that'll be very, very cool because it means that they'll be able to get their reoccurring viewers a lot easier than we all had to deal with that. I think that the intro video is really cool. I like the idea of like doing a super energetic, like funny 30-second video just to let people know what you're all about, even if they come to your channel and you're off, like you're not online. I think all that stuff is just awesome. I'm really excited for the changes.
Same here. Shady, you have thoughts?
I think the intro is probably the most exciting thing. Like Val was saying, having a little clip to explain who you are, what your channel's about. I'm pretty sure Vel's will be all about Twitch Prime. Videos, greatest things ever. The schedule I'm a little weird on because to me that feels like Twitch might be stepping on toes for some of their add-ons, because they have the channel schedule add-ons that partners make. So to me that might be them stepping on some toes there. So they got to do it the right way, I feel.
Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
I just I don't know. I don't like doing about me's. So
you mentioned that earlier. That's right.
I'm gonna put dots there and be like, yeah, to be continued.
Yeah, we also don't know what it's gonna look like really, so hard to say.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think the schedule thing, it does look like they're adding new features to it as opposed to just doing what other extensions have already been doing. In terms of like showing the game you're playing, and the graphic they displayed was really cool looking the way they laid it out. So I think also the fact that it's going to be built into the platform is huge, because I think for both streamers and viewers, because viewers will learn that schedule is an important part of streaming and they'll be able to look at it like on every single person's profile. And then streamers will learn that you need to have a schedule. So I mean, we all learned that at some point, but now as a new streamer, there's that blank section on your profile that says schedule. So you're very incentivized to fill that out somehow. So I think that's cool to see. Susie, anything to add here?
Let me trigger this channel trailer when I get raids. Please let me do that instead of throwing an ad in people's face.
That would be very sweet.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Raiding into an ad is not a great feeling.
Absolutely. I mean, you could let the ad come a little while after you've started watching a channel. Nobody wants to come in on an ad.
That's actually one of the things I think that's in the notes for the show is the ads. I was about to say it.
Yeah,
but
I guess we can go ahead and transition into that, since I think this might be people's favorite change of the whole conference. So, ads updates are finally coming to Twitch. They are in this way. So, first of all, affiliates are going to earn ad revenue now. Now, I don't think it'll be a lot, but at least you're getting some portion of that. But more importantly, ads will only be running on channels where the streamer gets a cut of the ad. So non-partnered and non-affiliate channels will not have any ads at all, which I think is awesome, because then you can actually grow a new channel without having to have people fight through an ad to see a brand new channel. Also, again, affiliate ad revenue probably won't be a lot, but at least it's something. And that way, at least the person watching the ad knows that they're supporting the streamer in some aspect, even if they're an affiliate. So that's coming. This is all coming supposedly in the next 2 weeks, by the way. But then there's supposedly more coming later this year. We'll see. Next big thing, streamers will be able to disable pre-roll ads by running regular ad breaks. And again, this stuff's kind of still vague. Like, we don't know you must run this many ad breaks this many times. But supposedly, you can get rid of pre-roll ads if you run regular ad breaks as an affiliate or a partner. That's huge. Also, one of the biggest things, picture-in-picture viewing is going to be on Twitch. So if an ad is running, your stream will move to the top right of the window, and you can still see the stream while you're watching the ad, which again is huge. It does say specifically for game streams, which is interesting. Like, maybe it's not going to work for talk show type things, which is kind of weird. But in any case, big improvement based on the current ad ecosystem on Twitch. And then also, small thing, ad volume issues are supposed to be fixed. So I guess in the past, some ads would just blow your ears out out of nowhere if you're watching a stream. That should be fixed now. And we also got a tease that there should be ad revenue breakdowns coming later this year. So that's a lot of changes. Shady, I'll shoot this to you first. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna turn off affiliate so everybody can watch my channel without ads.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of an interesting idea.
You know, I think the picture-in-picture is probably the greatest thing. You know, a lot of people will show up on a raid to a stream, and you get that wall of ad. And so you miss the first 30 seconds when you're there, and by that time, I don't watch ads. I'm gone.
Yeah.
I have some ADD issues, and 30 seconds of watching a commercial 6 times, I'm gone.
And it's always a 30-second ad. You know, you can't YouTube. You can at least skip it 5 seconds in. Twitch, you're stuck there.
It's terrible. Like certain times, I love ads. Like I use Hulu with ads. That's because I pay $1 a month for it. But like that's perfect time for me to get a drink. But if I'm like watching Twitch and my time is limited, 30 seconds on an ad, I don't want to do it if I'm not watching.
Right. Or if you're checking out a new person or something. I mean,
yeah. Also, when it's not supporting the person. So I like that too, that you know when you go there, it's supporting that person now. So that's a better feature as well.
Gotcha. Susie,
you know,
sorry.
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Take these thoughtful breaks, so I'm not sure if you're done here. Keep going. Susie, your thoughts on the ad changes?
I think it's great. I also think that affiliate before long is not really going to matter at all. You know, everybody's going to have affiliate, and there's going to be a huge difference between having like when they first started doing the affiliate program. I remember back when Vel was little baby stream, there was no affiliate program, and they gave it to us, right? And now they're making it obsolete almost. So
yeah, actually at TwitchCon they announced in the opening ceremonies like 250,000 affiliates this year, and there was like no reaction from the crowd at all because it's just not that surprising, honestly. You know,
you show up affiliate.
Yeah.
I got it in a week. I mean,
yeah. And oh my gosh, there were some problems with the keynote that to go along with that, they were talking about how many payouts affiliates generated, which really sounds like, you made us this much money, thank you. I mean,
you're paying the bills, you're keeping the lights on.
Yeah,
thank you.
It was anyway, sorry. Any other thoughts there?
I like the option to have ads either roll as soon as somebody comes in, or you can roll your own ads. I think that's a good idea. I'll definitely I didn't ever think that I would opt to run ads, but I'd rather have an ad run on my own time than have it when somebody first joins in on the channel. Like Useless Wizard was saying, like if somebody like raids you and like all those people get an ad, a lot of those people are just going to leave right off the bat just because there's an ad. And so I'd rather have them come to my channel, you know, see the excitement of the raid and everything, and I'll just run an ad later when I go to the bathroom, since there's picture in picture anyway. It's not as big of a deal. But yeah, I didn't think I would ever want to run an ad on my stream, but I'd rather do that for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're kind of being forced to, really. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
It's either you have this bad option or this bad option. So which do you choose? But for no, sure. I think you're absolutely right. Like it's going to make a lot of sense to choose to run those ads manually rather than have a pre-roll if you want to grow your stream, because there's nothing that'll kill a viewer's interest faster than a 30-second ad wall trying to join your stream. So I think that alone will be huge. So that was, I think, probably a lot of people's favorite change that's supposedly coming in the next 2 weeks. I really hope it gets here like today, because I'm so tired of watching ads. We'll see. Okay, next point. So we talked about channel points a couple times in this podcast. That has been officially announced now, and it's pretty much exactly what we talked about in the past. You earn points passively by watching a stream, and then you can redeem those for little prizes in the stream, like modifying an emote or sending a message that's highlighted, or in sub-only mode. This apparently, so it's already in beta, like Vel already has access to it. I'm not sure if Shady or Susie do. I haven't seen it on many channels actually, so it might just be Vel. But it'll be available to everyone in January, partners and affiliates 2020. So it's coming pretty soon. Again, we'll kind of have to wait and see what people do with it. I think it's a cool tool for streamers to use, but they'll have to get creative with their own uses for it, rather than the default options, which don't seem to be that great, I think. Vel, do you want to do a little refresher on Jano Points for anybody?
Jano Points, yeah. So basically, it's just points that viewers get just by hanging out and actively chatting in your channel. You can do things like you can redeem the points by like modifying an emote, so you can add like sunglasses, or like you can flip it horizontally, or you can make it gray. Pretty okay things. You can talk during sub only chat if you're not a sub. You can do highlighted messages. It's I guess the only really cool thing that comes out of it is that people who don't have the option to subscribe to your channel can unlock one of your emotes, a random emote, for 24 hours. That's probably the coolest thing. That way they can feel, included. Like when I say, can I get dabs in the chat or whatever, if somebody happens to unlock a dab, like they don't have to sub to do that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Have your feelings about it changed overall since you've had it for a couple weeks now?
No, it's the same. It's not necessary at all.
Yeah. We'll see. I still think it'd be cool if people come up with their own ideas for it, or like create their own economies. I still don't know if you can customize the economy, because they said they were testing that in the beta. I guess we'll see with that. But again, that's coming in January 2020. Okay, a couple other things. So this was not really an official announcement, but I know Shady is excited about this one maybe. They talked about bans on Twitch, because obviously over the last year there have been a lot of issues with people getting banned or not getting banned, or just moderation issues in general. This was an interesting conversation, because if you didn't see the keynote, it was this guy named Ezekiel talking right to the CEO about it. And basically, they didn't really offer a solution to it. They just kind of gave reasons why these issues have been happening. So apparently they're going to be unifying a safety ops team to do a better job with these things, and provide more transparency about bans, which is kind of cool, and which Ninja memed on. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then they cited the reason for these different double standard bans is because they've got people around the world, and it's individual basis and context and a lot of buzzwords. Again, didn't really get a concrete answer on like a change, but at least he tried to give some reasons for it happening. Also, I wanted to mention that it seemed like they tried to get off this topic really fast, because when Ezekiel brought this one up, he was like getting talked in his ear and move on to the next thing. So that was kind of interesting. So I'll kick this to Shady first. You kind of talked before the show that, or actually during the show, you've had issues with this in the past. Do you have any thoughts on them talking about this?
I mean, like you said, they brushed over it. Twitch's biggest thing is that they don't enforce terms of service if you bring them enough revenue. And now that's really the context. You brought us in $10,000 last month. We're not going to ban you, but we're going to be like, strongly worded email. Please don't throw your cat again.
That situation got referenced a lot over the weekend, by the way. So I'll touch on it really quickly, just because it pertains to this.
Hold on. As a cat owner,
yeah.
As a cat owner, my cat jumps from higher levels than my shoulder over on a chair. So like, I'd be more upset that she fed her cat vodka than chucking her cat, because you can't. It's a cat.
Right. Ninja, I posted a tweet in the chat. Side note, Ninja was kind of like subtweeting the TwitchCon event the whole weekend, which is kind of weird. But this particular one cracked me up, because right after, so again, Twitch said, we're going to provide more transparency for the streamer on why they got banned and what the issue was. So his tweet was, again, mocking this situation, saying, so here's what you did. You picked up a cat and you just threw it behind your head. And so that's about it. And then I thought it was pretty good. But anyway, this situation, again, got mocked a lot over the weekend. There was like a, what's the Jackbox game? People were referencing that like on the official Twitch channel. And then that was the whole thing. So just want to bring that up because it did get talked about at least. I didn't think they would mention it at all over the weekend. So maybe we'll see something come out. Not sure. Vel, Susie, any thoughts to add there?
Yeah, I think, like, I understand why they didn't want to talk too much about like the enforcing the rules and everything, because like if they knew the answers, then they probably wouldn't have to like hire a full team to do it. You know what I mean? So like I can understand like they just want to skate by and just like put all that pressure off until you get the people that are like meant to deal with that kind of stuff. Like wait till they're fully established and everything. So I think it's cool that they're like making a team specifically for this stuff. Hopefully it gets to the point where people can actually like talk to Twitch staff on like why they get bans. Because not only are there people that don't get banned that should get banned, there's people that do get banned that shouldn't. And like that's kind of like way worse. You know what I mean? As somebody like who relies on this for, you know, bills and everything. If I got banned because somebody was offended by something that I said and like I didn't even say that thing, you know, like one of those weird instances where somebody says something but they kind of mumble it and like it comes off as something else. Like I mumble a lot and I'm terrible at words. And if somebody were to like get me banned for saying something or thinking that I said something and I couldn't talk to anybody about it, like I'd be livid. I would be so mad. So like I hope that they make that a thing, like where you can talk to the staff and like actually have a conversation on like, oh, you got banned because of this. Well, I didn't do that. Okay, well, we'll unban you.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
They talked about an appeals process that they have. That's one thing Emmett talked about is it's kind of like an on-rails system where you did this, so you get this punishment for this time, and they have a system for that. But Voodoo in the chat asked if they talked about better support response times, which kind of goes in line with what you're saying there. They didn't mention anything about that, so sorry. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Susie, any other thoughts to add on this one?
You need somebody on the team, Twitch?
Yeah.
Hi. I think it's great that they're actually making a team. They need a team for it because it's just a crap show right now. They're not handled well at all. And I really think that if you want to be successful as an influencer and you're going to big events like TwitchCon, stay off social media or have somebody take care of your social media for you so you don't make a fool of yourself or make a fool of the platform that you're supporting or not supporting. Because it doesn't look the greatest, guys.
Fair enough. All right, so moving on here. Mod view was the next thing that got announced. So this is basically, speaking of moderation, this is like a super view for mods on the stream now where they can see everything at once. So you got the chat box, you've got your mod options, you've got a new thing which you can approve or disapprove auto mod actions. So you can see like what's in the auto mod queue and approve that or change that if it was a bad ban or something. And then like I think even stream information it looks like now. So you can see like how a stream is performing, which is kind of cool. Maybe kind of let the streamer know if there are issues with people watching it. This is rolling out next spring, which again is a pretty long wait for this. But I think it's a cool idea. You guys have any thoughts on mod view? Susie, you do some modding.
I do. I don't quite understand it so far, so I'm just waiting for more information.
Yeah, I mean that's a theme with a lot of stuff here, right? It's just kind of teased with a lot of features.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Shady, Vel, any thoughts there?
Hey, I feel like we're at like the Sony E3 press conference where they show like their video games that are going to come out in.
Yeah.
Whatever makes it easier for the mods. I don't do as much modding as I once did, but empowering your mods is definitely a good idea, giving them the ability to adjust how they need to, which also brings up the whole make sure you have mods that you can trust and depend on. They are an extension of you.
Absolutely.
But the mock-up they have here, this looks good. You know, it'll be interesting to see it when it rolls out sometime in the next like 5 years.
Whatever that is, we'll see. Vel, any thoughts to add here?
Not really. I mean, obviously, like Shady said, anything you can do to give your mods a little bit more ability to do what they do is awesome. And like Susie said, I have no idea what's on it, so because they didn't go into detail at all. They said there's a mod view. It's coming out. That's pretty much it.
That's it.
If you want to learn more, you're gonna have to wait because we're gonna say shit about it.
We got to do something for mods this conference, so. Yeah.
We don't know what it's gonna be yet, but we're gonna do something. I'm telling you.
You just wait.
Oh man. Khaleesi asked if we talked about the open plastic cup beer. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a sec. There's a lot to get through, so hang on. That is coming. Yeah, that was a thing. Small thing. Subscriptions are now on iOS now. Woohoo! That got announced. That works. It's coming out in October. Not much more to say about that. I guess I should mention it's like a token system. I guess the issue that they had in the past was that Apple was taking a cut of it out of the App Store. So you just like buy a subscription token now to the App Store. I don't know. You can do that on iPhones now. Congrats. That's awesome. Okay, last couple things. Okay, to be fair, this is one of those things that I still think is much more exciting for Twitch than streamers, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Yeah.
People are gonna find a way to sub anyway, but Twitch just wants more easy ways for you to pay them money. Which
Right.
I should go into the next part. Announced last night were 3 extra things. First of those was Bits auto refill. Again, this is a feature no one asked for, but one that Twitch decided to add. Basically now they're adding this feature where your bits will automatically resupply after they go below a certain threshold. So like,
It's a dumb idea.
What?
let's say you run below 500 bits, it'll add another 1,000 on. And again, yeah, exactly. Like no one asked for this. This is clearly just another subscription feature that you'll forget about, and it'll auto charge you more bits. I don't know. Some people who maybe use a lot of bits might find this useful, but I think for the vast majority of viewers, this is not going to be something that you use. I don't know.
Nope.
If you guys
This reminds
feel
me of
differently, please
EBS.
correct me, but I don't know. Any quick thoughts on that one? I didn't have a lot of thoughts.
I heard
on
that
it.
the next thing they're going to release is just a button that when you wake up, you just slap it and it just gives Twitch some of your money.
Yeah,
Like that's the next product that they're going to make.
sounds like a big hit to me.
It
Yeah,
makes
people
me
are going to love it.
uncomfortable. I feel like they're trying to move towards something that is currency based because they keep pushing towards using currency based things more, and I don't like it.
What do you mean?
Well, because we've got the channel points now, which right now they're useless, but they're starting to push toward refilling bits and getting more things for bits. It's turning into microtransactions. So
It's true. Yeah, actually, we should mention the next parts, which go along with that. Actually, both function off of bits. So, first of those, which we kind of teased in the past, is integrated polls, which is really cool. So these are built-in polls to the Twitch chat now. You don't have to use like straw poll or something external. It'll just pop at the top of your chat. You can vote on your options. You can just put them in there as a streamer. But there are some disclaimers about this. It is a free thing, but you can modify your votes in certain ways. So one thing could be like you give subscribers twice as many vote counts for a poll. Another one that I saw, which they didn't really mention, but it's in the little video, is apparently you can boost your vote with bits somehow. I'm sure this is something you can turn on or off as a streamer, but essentially like, you know, donate 100 bits and add 100 votes to your vote, wherever the poll is, which is sort of a weird system to me. Again, this stuff was all announced last night and has no real release date, it seems like. This says October sometime. I don't know. You guys have any thoughts on the poll system?
Don't release it.
Wow. Why do you say that?
I don't know. It's just anything that you start to do like with currency of any kind. It's like any sort of financial anything just feels like a gimmick to me, and I hate it.
This one in particular, I think there is use for if you don't use like the bits feature, maybe the sub feature. The next one we're gonna talk about, I think, is the other direction. Like there's no good side of that. But Shady, your thoughts too?
The other one's give me money, give me money.
Yeah.
The poll seems fine until obviously you have pay to win. You know, everything's going pay to win. Gotta pay, gotta win. But no, the polling is polling. You know, if you're just doing a quick poll, that's great. But yeah, like as long as you don't use the monetization features, it's gonna be just basic, simple for you guys.
Right.
And then there's the whole Twitch wants money part. So
yeah. Which let's talk about the next feature they announced, which is Hypetrain. So this is kind of hard to describe. The best, like without seeing it, if you see it, you'd understand it. But it's basically similar to the way a subtrain system works. If you guys have seen that on channels, but it's more than just subbing now. So it is for bits, subs, and gifted subs. And kind of similar to polls, there's this little pop-up in the top of chat that says like a hype train is happening or whatever, and you have this long to keep the train going if you donate or give subs or bits. And this one's really kind of vague. There's no release date on this one at all from what I saw, and the they quote that you can unlock celebrations and emote rewards, which again, I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know what celebrations are, if that's literally just the streamer going, thanks, yay, or if it's like there's something built into the platform, you know? I mean, it's really tough to say with this one, and this one does feel like more of a money grab to me. Unless like they have some sort of cool, unique perks. I don't know. Susie, what are your thoughts on Hypetrain?
It's vague as heck, and I think it's a bad idea. It's just like doing subathons just altogether, anything like that that encourages, that it manipulates people into wanting to do it, guilts people into subbing, and I think that there's no place in it on Twitch or really any type of influencer based platform. I think it's neat. I would rather see it used in something like a charity event type situation.
That'd be cool.
Rather than subs or bits or anything like that. I don't like subathons, like anything that tries to influence your audience to do something that they otherwise wouldn't do. Don't like that.
Yeah, this one's tough because like people already kind of do this with sub trains and things, but the fact that now it's going to be built into Twitch is, I don't know, it seems a little sketchy to me. If, like you said, like that really is just kind of guilting people sometimes to do things like that because whatever, it's this flashy thing that pops up, but they want to be part of it when really they shouldn't be spending that money. Maybe. Vel, you have thoughts?
I'm kind of on the same fence as Susie. Or same side of the fence as Susie. I really don't like anything to try to influence people to spend money. Like that's something that like if they want to do it, they'll do it, and like they don't need any sort of like reason. Like they'll just like they'll do it, and that's totally fine. I kind of hope that it's an option. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm cool with having like the top cheers at the top of the chat and everything, but like as soon as you start like bringing in more reasons that people should do it, it just gets kind of dicey. And yeah, I don't know, it just seems like another thing to, you know, where you're asking for money without actually saying give me money.
Yeah, I will say at least it's cool that there are more things that your bits can do now. Like if you're already someone who's going to donate bits, at least like you can create little events like that now instead of like, because right now it kind of feels like you just put the bits in chat and that's about it, right? Like there's not a whole lot to do with them. I don't know. Shady, you have thoughts?
I mean, it's like everybody's saying, it's a money grab. It's literally Twitch saying, give me money. It says it on there. It's like sub gift or to get to the next level. You got 2 minutes to do it. Chop, chop. You know, it's literally Twitch saying, hey, pay us. We want money
right now.
Right. Yeah.
2 minutes, you get a reward. It will be interesting to see when the full rollout happens, what you can set for your rewards, celebrations, and controlling when it happens. That's going to be a big thing. I could say most people are going to only want to do it during like special occasions. You know, I could see like maybe like a birthday stream or streamiversary, but leaving it on like all the time,
yeah, it's gonna be
that'll get annoying.
It's not very hype if it's always hype.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. All right, so those were most of the big updates announced this weekend. If I missed something, please let me know because there were a ton of them. We're also going to talk through some of like the less news but more of kind of drama side of things, just in relation to TwitchCon specifically. So we'll go back to Khaleesi's question first, which you guys probably saw if you were roaming around Twitter this weekend. So Ammunition posted a tweet of the partner party for Twitch, which I think happened on Thursday night, if I remember correctly. And basically it was this shot of a bunch of beers out on a table just kind of sitting there. And obviously that was concerning to her because people could obviously just put stuff in the drinks very easily. So that was a thing. But then one other streamer ended up getting roofied. Now, disclaimer, this did not happen at the Twitch party. A lot of people are making that connection that, you know, first this was made to be an issue and then it actually happened. Seems like this happened at a bar outside of Twitch, but a lot of people did make that connection, and it just kind of created this discussion in general about why Twitch was doing that. Susie, you have any thoughts on this?
It's more as spreading hype over, well, hype, spreading drama, spreading all these things that were not exactly related, but you see something, you use it for your advantage, right? I feel like they probably shouldn't have let people use their phones in the Twitch party, for one. Shouldn't be serving alcohol that way. There is a problem with roofies, guys. It may not be this huge thing that they're making it out to be on Twitter or anything like that, and it may not be related, but it's not okay to have that environment in a massive gathering of people. It shouldn't have been an issue at all. That's on Twitch. They left the door open on that one.
Right. Vel, what do you think about that?
I definitely think that it was an unsafe way to provide drinks. Like, your Twitch, like, you have funding for something better than just putting stuff on a table that's already like poured and everything. And like, you can't see if anybody is watching, the drinks, because like, it's just it's at a certain angle and everything. So there could be somebody there. Like, I wasn't there. I don't know if there was somebody kind of like keeping an eye on things. But either way, that shouldn't even be like a thing. I do think that this is kind of blowing up, but I also do agree that it is an unsafe practice that Twitch could have done a better job of handling.
Right. Sounds about the same. Shady, any other thoughts to add there?
Terrible.
Terrible.
I've worked in a bar. That's just terrible. I mean, even like when you see like at a wedding and they got like the champagne fucking tower and stuff, it's always a terrible idea. As a person that just poured a bottle of wine on a table the other day, you should never have open alcohol just sitting there. But yeah, no, leaving beer open, especially when it's a whole bunch of young people. And I don't think that was the partner party, right? So, I mean, at least everybody that's there. Like, the other bars doing that and stuff would have been a huger issue because anybody could have just walked in. But yeah, I gotta say, just leaving beer sitting there, even if it's supervised by somebody just sitting there, people get distracted.
Yep. I think we all kind of agree there. It definitely was not a good thing for Twitch to do at that party.
Can I throw in real quick that every single partner party that Twitch has had at TwitchCon, I've never heard a single good thing about it. It's always like overcrowded or something. People either can't get drinks, or like this one, the drinks were too available. There's never been like, and I'm not trying to like just talk shit on Twitch or anything like that, but like, I feel like that's the one thing that they just haven't really focused on making any better is, like, and those are like their partners. Like, they should be taking care. Like, if you go to a partner party and you are a partner, like, you should be set. Like, it should be a good time. You know what I mean? Like, if I ever get partner and I'm able to go to one of those, I want it to be like legit.
Yeah.
But like that, like, just having open drinks out on the table and like all the previous issues that they've had, like, I feel like they really need to focus on that a lot more than they have in the previous years.
Right. Actually, one thing that Ammunition mentioned in the tweet that didn't get as much attention was she just thought the party was, I guess they've been asking for a while for them to be less insane and less about just getting blasted at the party. So that was definitely something that some partners feel too. I guess that's a consistent trend at Twitch parties. So again, if you guys have more thoughts on that, you're more than welcome to call in. We had a caller. British was there for a second, disappeared. But calls are open and questions too if you guys want to comment on this stuff. We do have one more piece of news I want to touch on, which is sort of just like the jabs between between Mixer and Twitch this weekend. Ninja was kind of leading the Mixer jabs. But first of all, I put that link in there earlier where he commented on the ban situation with transparency. I'll repost that if you want to see that. But he also was posting about the meet and greets last night, which is interesting. People think this might be a drunk tweet or something, but he was like going through his kitchen and pretending to shake a bunch of hands, like, "Oh, thanks for being here, man. This is so awesome. Wow, this is crazy. Look at all these people." I think just kind of making fun of people at TwitchCon in meet and greet lines, which is kind of interesting. I didn't see a whole lot of other people at Mixer doing this, although I saw some people saying that Twitch just kind of stole a bunch of Mixer ideas, which I think is kind of fair given the things they announced at the conference. There were a lot more than that, but Jano Points, for example, pretty clearly inspired by Mixer. So that was interesting. But then on the flip side of things, at the concert, the Twitch party for everyone, Blink-182 said F Mixer on the stage to everybody, and there was a huge cheer, and that was a whole deal because people thought that Twitch paid them to say that, which I don't believe, but I mean, clearly got paid to play at the concert. Anyway, this kind of went back and forth over the weekend. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this, if it's just kind of playful, or if you think it's uncalled for. Shady, what do you think?
It's all good and fun. The channel bits coming from Mixer, I don't necessarily see, because loyalty rewards have been a thing from third parties for quite a while. But you know, everybody breaking each other's chops. It's all fun and games, you know. Sorry, Travis. You know, as long as it's in a good humor jest, it's fine. Complaining that Twitch is taking ideas from Mixer, to me, it's how you innovate. You know, you need competition. Them taking things from Mixer shows that they see Mixer as a actual platform now, instead of just like the redheaded stepchild that nobody cares about.
Actually, that's one thing that they said about that comment, was the fact that they talked about Mixer at the party was good exposure for Mixer ultimately.
You know, yeah, like when Ninja first switched over to Mixer, like how many people were like, what's Mixer? Like, you're going where? Never heard of it. Like, I know plenty of people, because like if you look at people that just play on like PlayStation, they don't have Xbox. Like, Mixer's big in Xbox. But if you go talk to someone who just plays on PlayStation, they're just like, what's a Mixer? Like my coworker, he knew who Ninja was. He didn't know what Mixer was. He's like, he went where? It's like, it's Microsoft's Twitch. They're like, oh.
Basically.
You know,
yeah, go ahead.
But no, like to me, it's good. You know, I'm always about competition, and you know, it's better that all these streaming services are out there, because it forces them to innovate and keep up.
I agree. Susie, thoughts?
I think it's mostly just banter, you know, but I am starting to notice a trend of, I wouldn't say immaturity, but not professionalism, especially when it comes to, Vel mentioned the partner party has just been for years. And even ammunition, she had mentioned that it's, you know, it's a frat party, and that's not what partners want. And so I'm starting to notice a trend that there is something there that needs to be handled. I think right now it's just banter, though.
Yeah, that kind of even relates to some of the bans and stuff in the past too, right? Like that little feel of unprofessionalism from Twitch. Let's see that. Vel, anything to add there?
I think it's tough, because on one hand, I feel like there doesn't need to be any banter. Like, Twitch's whole thing and Mixer's whole thing is community. So why can't we just respect both parties, you know? But at the same time, I do like that there is like almost an amount of animosity between the two, just because it does make both platforms want to be the best. So like Shady was saying, it ignites that competition. So like, if this keeps building, if the tension between the two keeps building, both platforms are going to start stepping their game up, just because they want to show people that they're better. You know what I mean? Because like right now, it just starts as friendly banter. You know, it's cool or whatever. It's funny sometimes, but like it could get to the point where like literally like both platforms are just trying to crank out new things. Where like that's what I want out of this, to be honest. Like, I really wish that people could just respect both parties and like, you know, all the communities all across the board. But at the same time, it is cool to see people wanting to be better than the other platform. Like, I'm glad that there's at least some sort of spark there.
Yeah, and I think one thing I want to mention too is that in the keynote, it seems like there are a lot of instances where they could have just said like Mixer or YouTube, but they chose not to, purposely not to give the other brand exposure. Like when they were talking about channel points, even the host was like, oh, kind of like, you know, like he wanted to say it was like Mixer, but he actually didn't say it. And same thing with channel trailers, right? I mean, I clearly see that as something inspired by YouTube. So that seems like something you'd say just like YouTube, but they moved away from that on purpose. So that was interesting. One thing I wanted to add on this was I kind of feel like there were a lot of tweets from Ninja, not just the two I picked out. It kind of feels like he misses being on Twitch. Do you guys get that sense? Maybe it's just me, but he sure tweeted a lot about the conference over the weekend. While like Tim was there, you know, he was tweeting at Tim with stuff and FaceTiming Tim, and it's kind of interesting to see now months later after this move.
Yeah. I think it's because like all of his friends are still streaming on Twitch, you know what I mean? So like as much as he can still play games with them and everything, there's no issues with that. You know, he decided to leave the platform that all of his friends were on, and it's hard to like deal with that, I guess. You know what I mean? Like as much as you are all about the community and you know, that's what you say your entire time, when you switch platforms, it definitely feels like you're being left out of the community that you were in previously. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he's just missing his friends quite a lot, and like, you know, I'm sure he misses last year at TwitchCon being there with Tim the Tatman, Dr. Lupo, and everything. And because you could tell, because like their tweets while they were all there, like they were having a blast, whether or not that they actually, you know, appreciate everything that Twitch does or whatever. Like that's beside the point. They had fun together, and you know, obviously Ninja didn't go to TwitchCon, so he's probably missing out a little bit, rightfully so.
Right. I mean, that one tweet where he was pretending to be a meet and greet. I mean, he was making fun of it, but it's also true. Like, if you were at TwitchCon and still on Twitch, he would have the longest meet and greet in the building. So,
which he did last year.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you guys, there was a clip of Dr. Disrespect's meet and greet, and it was like hundreds and hundreds of people long. So I do kind of feel like, even though he meant that satirically, he does kind of miss it at some level, because he doesn't really have the same experience. Like, there's not a MixerCon to my knowledge. That's kind of interesting. Susie, Shady, anything to add on that?
I'm sorry, Ninja. I think we all feel for him.
Yeah. Nope.
Except for Shady.
I don't feel for him. He's getting paid. He took the money over his friends, so you know he's got to live with that. But yeah, no, I definitely got the feel of him missing not being out with his friends.
Yeah.
Beardy says, was Dr. Disrespect's meet and greet in a bathroom?
Maybe. There were a lot of people like posting pictures of that. There was a picture of Doc at his meet and greet with someone who was wearing a Mixer shirt, and he was kind of like laughing at it. And they photoshopped that into a bathroom where he's like, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so let's get into calls. We have British Avenger ready to come back on the show, so I'm gonna go ahead and add him in here. Oh, there goes my my headset there, Vince. There we go. See if British can come on. British. Oh wait, still ringing. Hang on a sec. British, you there?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm alright. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for calling in again. What do you want to talk about today?
So, recently I've been having difficulties with titles. Like, I just don't know what really to put, and of course, like, sometimes like you can maybe put something's been like trending on Twitter or something like that with your title just to like maybe attract some people, but I'm just having a difficult time to like think of what to put
Okay.
as my title.
Sure. Yeah, so what do you do with your title? I mean, simple question there, but complex answer. I'll throw this to Vel first. What do you think about titles?
I think that they're more important than some people realize, just because like if you can figure out the right thing, you're going to draw people in that will never give you a chance otherwise. Like I streamed a long time on R6, you know, just doing regular titles like US and I speak English and, you know, this rank or whatever. But like that's the same thing on every single channel in the R6 directory. It's just like, where are you from? What language do you speak? And what rank are you? So I started doing things like, you know, I made fun of my weight, like, because I get trolls that come in and be like, hey, look at you, you're fat. And I'm like, yeah, like I know that. Like I'm sitting here, like I feel my body, you know. And so like so I like to break the ice right off the bat, like just introduce people with a fat joke about me. And you know, it ends up working. People usually come in and be like, hey, I saw your title, it made me laugh, so here I am. And so just do things like that. Like, I don't know, I think people really like the idea of being able to make fun of yourself. Just because it makes you seem like you're not like putting yourself on a pedestal at all, just like it evens you out with everybody, you know what I mean? And it's funny. It's funny to see people trolling themselves a little bit. So I think like if you do something like that, like not many people in any directory are really doing that. So try to do something to tease yourself a little bit. It breaks the ice for new people. It might even give them a laugh. If you can make people laugh before they even get into your channel, that's kind of a big deal. You know what I mean? Like if they're scrolling through a directory and like out of all the things in there, they see one thing and it makes them chuckle, they're probably going to click on that because they haven't even seen your content. They haven't even heard your voice. You haven't said anything to them, but you still made that connection with them without even realizing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when you're scrolling through a directory, the only thing you can really control is the title because the thumbnail just gets pulled randomly. So that's pretty important for how people decide to click on your channel. Shady, what are your thoughts on titling?
Smack your head on the keyboard.
The opposite of what I just said.
Simple as that, guys. There you go. I think we're done for today.
The words are magic. It's an elevator pitch. You get 2 seconds as somebody scrolling by to impress them. As Vel said, if you can make them laugh, that you're gonna get them there. I, on the other hand, just usually put like emotes because I can leave those up for like months and not worry about it.
Like emojis.
Yeah, like I have
just low.
I just have a scuzzy text that like there'll be designs and I'll just leave them up there.
There you go. I mean, that stands out. People usually don't have those in the titles.
Shady's like anti-stream key. Like, how can we help you guys? Here's how you don't help.
Anarchist.
Just tell them not to come there in the title. Like your title says no, just keep scrolling.
Now, I would pick on that because that's like one of those things where like that's different enough to where you'd probably click on.
Reverse psychology. There you go.
Exactly.
Don't sub here.
Yeah. Susie, what do you think about titles?
Oh man, I'm just horrible at them. I treat it like my Twitter status. It depends. Like I'm creative, so every night I'm doing something different. It's a little bit different for me. I try to relate what I'm doing that night to my title, but more often it's usually like, "Oh hi, come in." I don't think that I could be funny enough, like Vel, for instance, to bring somebody in with their fat baba yagas or anything like that. But I think if you consider how you greet somebody coming into the stream as it is, you could have that same kind of feel in your title and relate it to the game you're playing, or maybe you're working on something for that day that is a skill, or there's been a latest update and mention something like that. Ask, hey, did you hear about that? That's what I would do. I'm horrible at it though.
No, I get that. I think like obviously humor is a great way to use your title, but I think you can also do like educational or informational stuff, especially if you have like, let's say you're very good at a game and you have a very high rank or something. That can, I still think, attract people if they're looking for a certain thing. Or one thing I'll see some people do is put questions in the title. So like a question of the day or some talking point. Usually those are longer titles, but that might create something for people to start talking about right away. One thing I will say about titles is that the first couple words are the most important because Twitch will cut off your title at a certain point. So just make sure that like if whatever it is that's important in your title, it's in the beginning and not like after a cut and the next part and 50 characters down the line. So British, any follow-up questions or thoughts on that?
No, but I do have. Wait, what?
I actually have a tip for you, Britt. I think that you're good enough at Siege, and Siege already has like this huge thing where people will go into streams and ask to 1v1. I think like you're good enough at Siege to where you can handle yourself with most people. I think your title should literally just be 1v1 me, and like that could be like kind of the thing that you do. Like I think you should, yeah, like anybody who's looking for a 1v1 is going to click on that stream and try to 1v1 you, and then it's just more content right there, especially if you poop on it. You know what I mean? Like you'll have people in a queue waiting to 1v1 you after a certain amount of time because they just want to see if they could beat this person that's beating all the 1v1ers. You know what I mean? Like I think that that'd actually be a good idea for your channel because you are good enough at the game. You're not necessarily trying to be funny at all, and it still pertains to you because you are really, really good at Siege. I think 1v1 me is a perfect title for you, and like that could be some content that you focus on as a streamer.
There you go. That's good for like YouTube and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hear the evil laughs now.
By the way, I'm your manager now. I'm your manager.
You can pay me at. British, you've another thought to add there too?
No, it's kind of like a question kind of linked to like the whole title.
Mm-hmm.
So recently I've been kind of losing motivation with like streaming on Twitch, and I've talked to Val about this, and I did try out Mixer for like a bit, and I realized why I was like losing motivation. It's because obviously when you start, you know, you have no viewers, like you gradually get up to viewers, and I was at like 0 viewers for a long time, and I got used to that. But when I was kind of having like 2 people that were loyal to my channel, then of course like kind of life got in the way, and of course they couldn't really be in the stream, and that was kind of a big mental kind of shock to me. You know, used to having people in here, now I'm not. And of course, I did use that title to bring them in. Now, recently, I just don't know what I'm doing.
So you're kind of lost without those viewers that you built up slowly.
Yeah, I was so used to having people in my channel. Now, I'm kind of not.
So Vel, he said you were already talking to this together a little bit.
Yeah.
You have thoughts?
Yeah, I do have thoughts. I think like if your motivation comes off of view count, I don't think the platform is going to help. Like you might get more viewers off the start because of like you're in a smaller like directory. If you bring your R6 gaming over to Mixer, like there's less people streaming R6 on Mixer. There's also less people watching. And I think whether like no matter what platform you're on, you're always gonna hit it. Like you're always gonna hit plateaus. You're always gonna get like caps. You know what I mean? And honestly, I think Twitch has a higher ceiling compared to Mixer as far as R6 goes in most games.
Definitely.
So I think no matter what you do, I think even if in Mixer you get 2 or 3 viewers off the start, like that's amazing. Like that's not something that like isn't great. But like what happens when you get to 20 viewers and you're stuck? You know what I mean? Like well, I don't know what the cap, I don't know like the average view count is for R6 streams on Mixer, but I think there's always going to be that issue of wanting to get more viewers, and it doesn't stop based on what platform you're on. Like that's just how things are. And I don't think switching to a different platform is going to fix your issues. I think making content that you really enjoy is going to be that thing that changes things, not necessarily any specific platform.
Yeah, I think there's multiple parts of that question, sort of. But Shady, what are your thoughts?
Ryzen brings up a good idea. You know, hide your view count. What you could do, honestly, is just pop out your chat and leave your chat open, have everything else minimized. That way, you know, you're obviously paying attention to chat. As somebody who has been there, you know, like there's times where like I'll look at that view count and be like, maybe I would just go to bed. It could be tough, but just keep doing it. You know, I would try like what Ryzen said. You know, lower your windows, your information pane. Sometimes there's too much information there. You know, and just play like the world's watching you. Go whip everybody's ass.
Fair enough. Susie, do you have thoughts?
Always 1v1.
Yeah.
Don't worry about who's watching or anything like that. It doesn't matter if you're on Twitch or Mixer or YouTube, anything. Just enjoy what you're doing. It's the most important. People will see your joy. That's what you got to remember.
Well, I think there are 2 parts to this question, sort of. One is that the platform stuff that Vel kind of touched on. I think, like Vel said, like it's not so much a matter of platform so much as motivation, because it sounds like you were trying Mixer because you were just sort of stuck, and you're like, well, I guess I'll try Mixer because maybe that'll fix the issue, without really having a specific reason to go to Mixer. Because I think that's one thing a lot of people do is they switch to Mixer or YouTube or Facebook because Twitch isn't working, so I'll try this other place and see what happens. Instead of saying, okay, Mixer has lower latency, or Mixer has an Xbox community, maybe that makes more sense. I think you should have a reason for going to the platform that you choose instead of just sort of shooting in the dark. When you're starting, it does make sense to try out things, but you should really have a good reason if you're choosing to uproot your community to another platform, I think. But my bigger question there is, like what motivates you for streaming. And it sounds like clearly having people watching you is a big motivator for you. Like, it's all good to say that you can just go out there and play really well, but if the reason you enjoy streaming is because you like talking to people, then it doesn't really matter how well you're playing if no one's watching. So, like, British, what do you think is kind of the reason that you like to stream? But do you think those couple people watching you really was what gave you a lot of excitement about it at first?
It's not like how I lost like the whole motivation thing was like, I think I just got so used to like, you know, streaming without any viewers, and of course then got used to the whole idea of people coming in my channel, then kind of going back to like the first part. I think that just took like a lot out of me, like mentally wise. And it's just like it kind of just made me like lose motivation, or like just really like mess me up. It's not the whole reason I like stream. I enjoy it, even if there's like with like no people in it. I still enjoy it. It's just I think I just wasn't used to like, you know, having people then not having people in my chat.
Well, yeah, I mean, in that case, like if you just enjoy streaming for streaming's sake, that might just be a mental reset. Like realizing, I mean, it makes sense, right? If you have viewers and they suddenly disappear, you're going to notice that and it'll affect you to some point. But I think then if you just like streaming for streaming's sake, it's just a matter of remembering that and saying, okay, I lost those viewers, but like that's not why I started streaming in the first place. It's just because I like the stream. And so that's something that you can go through. One thing I would add in there, like if viewers do matter to you in some sense, I would definitely go back and try and figure out why those first people watched you in the first place, either by directly asking them like what they liked about the stream, or by trying to figure it out, like what was in common, what did I do right, because that could help you grow viewers. But again, if viewers aren't like the driving force for you for streaming, then I really think it is just mentally coming to terms with the fact that what you love about streaming is streaming and playing. So, guys, anything else to add there?
Yeah, definitely. I think that, okay, I still stand by the title. I think 1v1 me is a great title. Focus on that. You don't need to like talk to people like that you're playing against or anything, because they'll get toxic. But you don't need to have communication with them at all. You can still play against them. But I think that what you need as a streamer, I think you just need to like come up with a way to make it a competition for yourself. When I was still starting out streaming, and like I was streaming in CSGO in that directory, which was flooded, like the one thing I did was I always looked at other channels to see what they were doing and how can I make my channel better. Like you have to ignite that fire, like to like want to be a better streamer and want to like, you know, just have better content than other people. And so if you don't have that, then you will get complacent. You will get used to not having viewers, and that sucks. And like that's it's like as much as fun as streaming can be, streaming to nobody sucks after a certain amount of time. Like no matter how used to it you are, it just sucks. So you need to come up with like a way to like make it a competition for you. Like I used to be like, okay, this person's beating me, how can I get ahead of them? You know what I mean? I legit used to like look at that. Like they have more viewers, clearly they're doing better than me. Like this is the way that I looked at it, just as like when I was first starting out streaming, because like you have to work your way up somehow. So like why not look at your immediate competition and just see what you can do to better yourself as a streamer? Like you need to like, you have to come up with ways to, you know, be different. And like that's what you do, is you just look at your competition, because they have the same or more viewers than you do, compete with them. Like, and that'll just bring the motivation in itself, and you won't be worried about the view count necessarily. You'll be worried about just trying to be better.
Awesome. British, any other follow-up questions or anything?
Like some of you are like saying about the whole view count. I never have it on. Like when I started streaming, I never had it on, because like I've like when I used to stream like not so seriously, or like, you know, take it seriously, I used to do it on PS4, and of course there was some delay with like it going down or up, and I noticed like mentally I can't take that, like, you know, seeing that count go down. So when I started streaming on like PC, I just took it straight off, because that's not going to be good for me at all.
Yeah. So did you turn it on after a while then, or has it always been off?
It's always like, since I started streaming on PC, it's always been off. I never have turned it on.
Cool. I mean, well, there you go. That should help then with any sort of mental taxation that might cause. Cool. Thank you for calling in, dude. Appreciate it.
No problem. See you next week.
See you, man.
See you, man.
Thanks. All right. We have, I think Glock 9 is going to try to call in. He's on mobile.
Ooh,
So let's see. He actually was at TwitchCon, so this could be really cool.
what a nerd.
See if we can get him on the show here. It's ringing right now. Glock, you there? Oh,
Wait, can you guys hear me?
yeah,
Nope.
we can.
Oh, crap. Can't hear you guys.
You can't hear us? Oh boy.
Uh,
He's on mobile, so he may have to tweak it a little bit. But I would like to get his call if possible, since he was at the conference. Hello? Glock?
Hello?
Hey, can you
Hello?
hear us?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. How's it going, man?
Romano.
I'm literally sitting at work, so hopefully it's not too loud.
It's not too bad. What do you want to talk about today?
Oh, I missed the part where you guys were talking about TwitchCon. I want to know what you guys wanted to know.
Well, I mean, we talked about all the news that they announced over the weekend. Is there anything in particular you're excited about of all the announcements?
Excited? Oh, I'm excited for a lot of the stuff. The ads and the picture-in-picture and the polls, all that stuff. But as for TwitchCon itself, they need to ramp up the security. That's for sure.
Oh, really? Was there an issue with that?
Oh, dude, they weren't checking bags. They weren't checking name tags, as you saw.
Glock managed to get in the conference with someone else's name tag for this.
Okay, hold on. I am the master assassin at Realm Royale. That means I'm sneaking in real life, all right?
Gotcha. So clearly there were security issues with people getting in.
Oh, yeah, but I was standing in line. They weren't even checking. People put their bags up there. They weren't even opening.
That kind of goes
I
back
was
to
like, excuse me.
it kind of goes back to the party situation too. Then the security issues in general with Twitch events.
Oh, yeah. You guys talk about the girl that got roofied?
Yeah, we did talk about that in the open
That
drinks.
was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Scary.
Yikes. Well, did you have any specific questions or anything about anything we talked about?
No, I just want to let you guys know I love you.
All right, man. Well, thank you for calling in, dude. We appreciate it.
All right, no problem. I gotta get back to work. You guys have a great rest of your show.
You too, man. We'll
There
see
you
you
go.
later.
Love you, Glock.
Love you guys.
Peace.
I feel like I don't know if the call was messing up there, but he was talking really fast, so I don't know what was going on there. That cracked me up. Okay, so I think calls and questions are wide open right now, guys. We did have one topic submission from Heat Hum. Said, how do y'all feel about NFL Thursdays? Is Twitch just becoming a regular TV platform and selling out? Interesting. Have any of you guys watched the NFL Thursdays on Twitch? Vel has.
I love them.
Yeah.
I like watching football with Twitch chat. I think it's dope.
I mean,
It's
anything with
hilarious.
Twitch chat is better, you know?
Yeah.
Do you think they're
And
selling
it's in the
out?
chat, man. I don't think they're selling out. I think that they need to do more. I
Hmm.
love it. I think it's very cool, including Twitch communities on more things than like that have been available than have previously been available. I think is awesome. I think it's
Mhm.
really cool.
Right. I think it's really cool to see it interactive too. I feel like that's kind of the future of TV at some point,
Mm-hmm.
is having at least chat rooms, if not actual interactivity with the event happening.
Right.
Shady, did you say you watched these too?
No,
No, okay.
I don't watch sports. But you know, it would be cool if they move like all the Miami Dolphins to Thursday and then just roll out the poll feature so we can call their plays for them. They might actually win a game.
Gotcha. Well, do you think this is a cool feature in general, or do you think like it's
I do. I like when they do these things. Like they also do the anime streams. They have Bob Ross, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Any additional content that they can put out that bring people to the site
Mhm.
is overall good value for everybody else. So yeah, NFL. I mean, I think they did NBA at one point in time. If I'm not mistaken, they had like basketball games that
Sounds
they
right.
tried like one thing. You know, I would like to see more of that stuff because it's gonna bring people to the site. It's gonna bring people to the site that have never even heard of the site. Which, I mean, I know it sounds weird, but there are people out there that don't know what Twitch is.
No, for sure. I mean, that's their huge issue, right? Especially trying to compete with something like YouTube, is they're so locked into the gamer side of things, which is great for the brand, but like from an audience perspective, that's a lot of people you're missing out on your platform. So having topics like that or content like that to bring in non-gamers will be pretty big for new people on the platform.
Like they should pick up a UFC fight. Bring a UFC match. What? Which would explode.
Yeah.
Their servers would melt from all the people going to watch that. And they don't have to do it like a pay-per-view. They just bring people in. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's great. You know, keep bringing more stuff.
Fair enough. Susie, anything else to add there?
I think it's great too. And you know what? Twitch, try it one time. UFC, try it one time, please. Just
see what happens.
Just do it. Throw ads up. Who cares? Try it one time.
Did you? Not in the middle of a fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
don't drop them on it. Okay. Did you guys see the interactive show that they're going to be doing though?
Mm-hmm.
That was, what was it called?
It's just totally caught Green off guard.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You're supposed to be the guy for this, Green.
I told you. Tell me if I missed something.
It's a sci-fi show about an AI that is trying to become human. And it's interactive. Like the Twitch chat will influence the show as it progresses.
Oh god, that robot's gonna kill us all.
Right? That was my immediate thought. I was like, wait.
This is how Skynet is made.
But it's actually a really cool idea. I don't know if it'll be a disaster because, I mean, come on, Twitch chat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
But it could also be something that helps improve awareness in Twitch chat and how it affects the stream and all that. Because I think the bigger streams, you don't see people that understand it's all the same environment. Like they're sitting behind their screen and they are interacting, but they don't understand that it affects the entire environment, everybody that's in that chat and in the streamer. So I think it would actually help improve if people would actually try it.
Yeah, I think interactive content like that is huge for Twitch in general. And I think we'll see more of that across all types of content. Just again, whether it's chat boxes or new things that we haven't seen yet. Interactivity seems like the future for that. That's really cool though. I think that is all the questions and calls that we have for now. If I missed something, guys, please feel free to re-ask your question. And I guess I
bring something up that happened this week.
Sure, go ahead.
Streamlabs.
Oh, dude, we missed. There's been so much. With the Logitech thing, right?
Yeah, Logitech has bought Streamlabs.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's a big move.
That is. A lot of like the media blew up and was saying they bought OBS. OBS had to tweet out and they're like, "We did not get bought."
Although Twitch became an official backer of OBS.
Premier backer. I think they were always a backer, but now they're like top tier backer. Yeah. But yeah, so Logitech has agreed to buy Streamlabs. I think it was like 80 something million. Yeah, 89 million.
Wow.
So it's going to be interesting. They say everything's going to stay the same. We'll wait and see, I guess. You know how that goes. You know, EA's bought plenty of studios and said, "Oh, we're not going to change anything," and then you get Anthem.
That's true.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, one thing I saw with this is people are hoping just that your C920 won't reset every time you plug it in now. With new features.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
It's gonna be interesting. They say everything's gonna stay the same. And it's they're just gonna get the inflow of cash from Logitech to make better things that they want to make. I mean, they still got to turn profit because they have in their purchase order or whatever it is, the agreement to purchase them. If Streamlabs hits certain criteria, they get like another 30 million. So they still got to sell stuff. But it's not fully done yet, so we'll wait and see. We'll probably see it'll be similar to Twitch. We'll see it sometime next year.
Right. Next 5 years.
Yeah, sometime in the next year or two, we'll see what this purchase has to do with anything. But it's a power move for me by Logitech. Right now, like the streaming stuff is mostly OBS, Elgato.
Corsair, yeah.
And like when I was talking to people about this, the first thing they were like is, well, I'd rather Elgato had bought Streamlabs. But that didn't happen. So maybe they'll go for Stream Elements.
Never know. I don't know.
It's a big move by Logitech. They're getting into something that they make webcams, they make keyboards and mice, but this is literally just streaming related stuff. And for them to start moving into this is a big sign of where things are going to go. To drop $90 million on something, you're taking it serious.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see if they start making more like physical products for streamers too. I mean, a webcam obviously is used by streamers, but it's not just for streamers, as opposed to like a green screen or key lights or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to Mixer and Twitch, right? More competition could be really good for our side.
Yep, and I could see that happening. They're going to start releasing, products that are similar to Elgato. I don't see why they wouldn't. And that will force people to innovate better and also drive prices down. Because if they release the same thing as a Stream Deck and it's $100 cheaper, $80 cheaper, Elgato's going to have to respond. And they've been doing that. Look at the MK2 for the 4K Pro. It's better and $150 cheaper than the last 4K they released. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Logitech pushes out.
For sure. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the AverMedia versus Elgato stuff too, because they've kind of got the capture card war going. So maybe we'll see more of that on physical products, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Elgato's been pumping out a product every week for the last month and a half. They just put out some multi-point framework, so you can like patch your camera and bend it and stuff like that. It's kind of cool, but we'll see what happens. We're getting into the streamer wars,
right? We'll see. Oh, I forgot to mention, there was one more piece of news that didn't really get announced, but it is a new feature. You can change your accent color on your profile now. It's kind of minimal. It really only affects like your in-chat notification color, and then also there's this new feature where if you're in a directory and you hover your mouse on a channel, it'll kind of pop up with the color. It'll change that color to be whatever you want. That's in your dashboard settings. It's really kind of a small feature, but it adds a little bit more customization, so not bad. Did you guys see that this week? No. Yeah. They didn't even really announce it. I only noticed it because I was going through a directory and was like, what is that color that's popping up? So kind of cool. Guys, questions and calls are wide open. If you would like to ask a question or jump on a call, now's a great time to do so. You can either tag @TRUgaming in the chat with your question, or you can call in the show by joining the Discord. To do that, just click on the link that shows up when you type !calls. And that's how you do that. I just lost my browser. Sorry. Is there anything else that you guys saw out of TwitchCon this week that we didn't cover yet? Or something with your own stream that's happened this week? Perhaps.
I've noticed just something on Twitch. I've noticed that there's a surprising amount of channels that I go into where like people are talking to chat less. It seems like, like you go into a channel and you're like, "Hey, how you doing?" They're good, and then they just continue with their game. Like I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna go now." Like I don't know. It's weird, and like it's mostly people that I've watched before that I think are just getting. I don't know if it's burnt out or what, but I
think it's time. All right, so I've been sitting on this topic for a while.
Let's go.
I think. Well, okay, this is hard to say now after TwitchCon because obviously there's a bit more hype about Twitch after TwitchCon, but I feel like the streamer bubble is bursting a little bit. So we're now years down into Twitch. I feel like people are getting a little bit disenchanted with the idea of streaming, where it used to be the super exciting thing, everyone's doing it, and they still are to some degree, but it doesn't quite have the same magic as it did a year or 2 years ago. The Twitch Prime thing has kind of died off. Fortnite's like mega star status has really died off. It's still obviously very big, but it's nowhere near it was last year.
Mhm.
Vel, do you kind of agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. And this is actually something I was just talking about in my channels that oh crap, I had something to say and I literally just lost it. I think that because I like, this is what it is. I've seen like there's just I feel like almost every day I go on Twitter, I see some new person saying like I'm done with streaming, like I'm just taking a break, like I don't know if I'm coming back. And I feel like people are just worried about the wrong things on Twitch in general. Like they went into streaming with the idea of like maybe not even like necessarily getting rich doing it, but like just with the idea that they're gonna have some form of success, like enough to where like you have like 30 people in your chat or whatever, and you have a community, and like you're just gaming and having fun while trying to slowly grow a community, but like not 0 to 5 people. You know what I mean? Because 0 to 5 people is really, really difficult to get out of. And you just see a lot of people that are just done, or like they have way more than that, but they're just not growing anymore. Like I've seen very successful streamers just stop, and it's just weird that like with how repetitive it's getting. Like I see the same tweet almost every day. Like I just want to let everybody know I'm done. Like like I just want to take a break. Like I just need to take some time off or whatever. I almost made a tweet yesterday that was like, I just want everybody to know that I'm not done. I'm not going to be taking a break, just to kind of like lighten the mood a little bit on Twitter, just because like it just seems so sad, like seeing all these awesome content creators just stop streaming and making content.
Yeah, I think you just, like you said, a lot of people are starting to drop off now or be more inconsistent. Maybe kind of realizing like, again, the magic is sort of worn off at this point, right? And they have to kind of realize like why they're doing it. Like, is money an actual factor in that, or do they genuinely just enjoy streaming? Is the lack of viewers just gotten to a point where it's killed all motivation at this point? Shady, do you kind of feel like this bubble's bursting a little bit, or you think I'm crazy?
No. I think reality's hitting for people. I saw an article, like this was in CNN or something, probably a year and a half ago, and it made reference to like divorce, which has started showing up in reasons for divorce. Like people just they give up on everything else to focus on this, and like I'm a big work-life balance person. I have a full-time job. Twitch is my hobby. When it comes to streaming, life takes precedence, and it's always going to. And so I think people are finally hitting the barrier and seeing that, I'm not going to pay my rent streaming. It's not going to pay my bills. It's not going to feed my kids. And so I can't spend as much time as this. Others, I'm focusing on me. When you speak to streamers and everything, and a lot of them sit here for 8 hours streaming a game, then they get off and they gotta eat dinner, eat lunch, whatever. Downtime. They don't go to the gym. They don't get to take care of their health. And so, like, for instance, he wanted to focus more on his health. And he's like, hey, I can't do both. I can't be up for 7 hours a night, go to work, go to the gym, spend time with my wife. Streaming's not the priority for me. And I think more people are starting to see that they're not going to be able to, they're not going to be Ninja. They're not going to be Lyric. They're not going to be Dr. D. They're not going to be Tim. So these people that went into it thinking, oh, let me go all in, let me spend $10,000 setup. Now they're going, all right, no, this isn't worth it. I look at it like when I was growing up and all my friends wanted to be football players, basketball players, rappers, this and that. It was, you still focus at school because the odds are it's not happening. Understand, you're not being a football player. You're not being a basketball player. So understand that. Set yourself up so that when you fail at that, you're still living. And it's not like, look, I'm all for dreams. Do your dream. You want to be Ninja? Go at it. But if you can't afford to be alive and take care of what you need to take care of, something's got to give.
Man, like that is a lot of what I've been thinking too.
Right.
I think it's good though, because you're starting to weed out people who are just on the hype train and like they're jumping into streaming, and like Shady said, they're putting a bunch of money into it and time. But at some point you have to realize that there's only so much time in a day, and maybe streaming actually isn't for you. And I think that's why it's been such an issue, is because there's a big illusion that anybody can do streaming, right? I think even more so than like football or basketball.
Right.
I mean, in sports, if you're not a certain height, like you're just out of luck in some sports, right? I mean, that's just the truth.
Yeah, that's. 100%.
But like, as opposed to streaming, it's like, well, this guy's just sitting in front of a computer playing games. I can do that. So I guess I'll put my entire life savings into that. That makes sense. But I just think this will be good for everyone eventually, because it'll stop people from doing what Shady said and just putting way too much time into something that's not really going to work out or they're not really passionate about. But the people who do stick around through it are the ones that will be able to make it more now. So I think eventually this will benefit everyone. But Susie, any thoughts to add here?
I think everybody's right on this subject. I mean, I have seen, it's probably been all summer, every day there's been a tweet, somebody saying, I gotta take a break. And I have been on a break pretty much all summer. And I just got to the point where I was laughing at myself about it, saying, oh, guys, it didn't happen again. I'm sorry. But but I always make sure to communicate with my community. I do have priorities and they come first. But I did take this leap into focusing full time on my artwork and my stream. So kind of intertwined now. And sustainability is not easy. And you have to be able to accept that if it's not sustainable, it's not sustainable, but you can't joke yourself over it. I haven't streamed on schedule in probably months. It's been months since I've been on schedule.
Easy solution. Don't put a schedule.
Right. I took my schedule down. I did, 100%.
Then they're going to add that schedule, and then what are you going to do,
What's the schedule?
I must use it. It's there.
Yeah.
Mine's going to be all say to be determined.
And I think it's important that people realize it's okay to prioritize things that aren't stream, because it will ruin your life if you don't focus in the right places.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've all seen people who like everything seems awesome and they're streaming all the time, and then like suddenly out of nowhere everything explodes, and you can just tell that they put so much time into streaming that there was no time for anything else. And I think those are the types of realities that are going to happen, and that I think is what's kind of causing this little drop off. I mean, the reason that I say this is, I don't know if I can link this, if it'll work, but Google Trends will show you like basically how much a search term is being searched for at any given time, and Twitch is at the lowest point right now that it's been in like the past year and a half. And so it peaked like last about May or so, April, which was again kind of like the Fortnite Ninja hype, Drake streams, absolutely. That kind of thing.
Yeah. That was the Drake stream time for sure.
Yeah, and now it's down to about half as much as less than half than it was at that point. So you can literally see in the data that Twitch is, you can't argue it, trending down, but you can just kind of feel it too in the culture. And I think that goes back to what Vel said about being in these directories, and maybe people are kind of burnt out of it, or just sort of like losing that magic appeal of Twitch a little bit. And I think people will still stick around who love it and who know what is really involved in streaming, but the bandwagoners are starting to fall off, is what I'm feeling.
Yeah, and I think we saw that with Streamlabs' last quarter report. And they showed like Twitch's lowest growth since they've been like publishing these reports, whereas they saw Mixer blow up. But that again is Mixer went from like 10 viewers to 20 viewers, and they're like,
we made it.
Yeah, I think Twitch almost, I want to say Twitch fell in viewers actually this quarter. I'm not sure though.
I think it might have been. It started, even if it went negative, the drop was there though, versus new viewers to what it had.
Right. And I say this not to demoralize everyone, make everyone very sad about Twitch.
From a realist standpoint.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's important to talk about too, because it's definitely easy to get swept up in Twitch and streaming, especially if you're very new to it. But there are these stories coming out now of people who took it way too far, and I think it's important to know that as a new person that's brand new to streaming, or maybe someone who's been doing it for years, and you're at a crossroads now where you have to choose between continuing to stream or like sacrificing these other things that are just as important. So
right, like Toxin Sheep Juice have said in the chat, it's a lot of people that seem to like think, oh, I'll start streaming, I'll just make a little bit of money, even if like they don't, like they probably have intentions on making some. And like even for me, like I didn't make any money until like well over 2 years into streaming, and even then, like you make a good amount of money at one day, it's going to be a while before that money returns again. You know what I mean? Like you don't just like start making money and then you're set now. Like it comes at spurts. Like I made a lot of money one day after 2 years of doing it, and then another year I made a little bit of money. You know what I mean? Like it's not consistent in any way. And I feel like a lot of people that think that they're going to make money, even if it's a little bit, and just overcommitting their time, thinking that I'll just put more time in, it'll equal more money.
Yep.
And I don't need to worry about anything else.
And I think it got worse too when Twitch started adding all these easy ways to get money, whether it's the affiliate program or bits, or even still today they're adding these things, right? All the stuff we just talked about, a lot of it is in relation to making more money as a streamer, making more money for Twitch. So I think people got a taste of that, and it's very exciting, like you said. And then at some point, maybe you become dependent on that or like addicted to it, and that can definitely be detrimental to people. But there's a lot of comments in chat. I'm trying to read through these really quickly. It sounds like, I hope you guys are getting value out of this, because I just like talking about like the meta side of Twitch, like overall.
I could talk about this topic like all day.
Yeah, this is like a huge deal for anybody. I
have such strong feelings about just the in general work life, Twitch life balance, and like I've witnessed the burn from people, you know, and it's your life is always going to be more important. Like I love all the friends I make on Twitch, but like if my girl screams for me, I'm hitting my be right back and I'm leaving. You know, if I mean, I'll hit my be right back if my cat's screaming for me. You know, so there's been numerous of times, like I work in IT. There's been plenty of times like streaming on like a Friday night or Saturday night, and my work phone rings and I'm like, bye, gotta go. You know, because at the end of the day, my job pays my bills. You know, like no matter how much I love Twitch, like I wasn't kidding when I said, hey, maybe I'll turn off affiliate so people can watch my channel without ads. You know, just there's no point to it. You know, like even on my profile, like it has the donate button for the Streamlabs because they want their link in there somewhere, and literally right underneath the button for it, it says, "Don't do this." Like, and I go into depth, and I'm like, look, if you want to donate money towards anything, donate it to a charity. Like, you know, I have a full-time job. Twitch for me is a hobby. It's always going to be a hobby, unless for somehow god awful reason I become the next ninja, which if you've ever watched me play is not going to happen. You know, but I see so many people that put off their responsibilities for life. And it's not worth it to me. Like, I'm not going to fight with my girlfriend over Twitch. I'm not going to risk losing my job over Twitch. I'm going to still stream to Twitch when I can. I'm going to enjoy Twitch. I'm going to enjoy the people I'm with.
Man, we're getting really meta now, because now I forget all these other things. I know, Vel, were you going to say something there too, though?
It's just, for me, obviously, it's really easy for me to say positive things about being a streamer and everything. And like, that's what people don't understand. Is like, I'm in a very, very fortunate situation where like my wife makes enough to cover things if I can't. She's also super supportive in letting me do this. Like, that's not something that people normally get to do, but they see me streaming full time with not as many viewers as I should be as a full-time streamer. You know what I mean? Like, because normally I would not be able to be a full-time streamer right now, but I have like things in my life that are like that I'm lucky enough to have where I can do this full time. And I feel like people don't understand the amount of things going on during their day-to-day lives that will impact Twitch a lot more than they think. And like people will 100% put Twitch above those things for a while just because they think like I just need to do this a little bit more today. Like, because if I don't put the time in now, I'll never put the time in. And like it just becomes this balance on like you see so many people. I mean, it even happened with Snoop. Like Shady was just saying that, you know, he just it just didn't work out for him after a while because he was putting Twitch on this pedestal where he was putting it above everything else, and like that you can't do that no matter like what amount of time you have for Twitch. Twitch is secondary to IRL 100% of the time.
Yeah, I do want to mention too though that like there are instances where you can go harder. Like in your instance, you're in a very specific situation where you have the life support to be able to do this, right? Like the way that your life is designed. But that doesn't mean that everyone can do that. And I think sometimes you get swept up in the culture of Twitch where everyone seems like they're always streaming all the time. And it seems like the more days you're live, the more hours you're live, the more viewers you're getting, the more money you're making. And that just puts a lot of pressure on you. So it's important to like take a step back and look at that, like Shady said, and realize that you have to have the balance at some point. And actually, what Shady made me think of is I think Twitch sort of has like this immaturity culture a little bit, and it's probably related to gaming and just the younger side of the platform. But as you see streamers start to get older, sometimes you see these streamers that feel like they're kind of grown-up kids who like don't really realize that you need to move away at some point or just change up your style. Like that's a thing that's hard to talk about, but like I have noticed that with the platform. You guys kind of feel like that too a little bit. Yeah, and I think it definitely varies a lot by like what your channel is and what you're streaming, and obviously it's not everyone, but I would like to see like more support for the older side of things too, where maybe you're taking less time to stream each week and focusing on other things in your life, and viewers and streamers understand that, right? Because not everyone has to be a full-time streamer. So anything else to add with this one, guys? I would kind of ran on this one for a while.
Artix talked on it, like, you know, he went from IT director to full-time Twitch, and like if you could do it, that's wonderful. Words.
Wonderful.
New word. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. But it's wonderful. You know, but I think the expectation needs to be there that not everybody is going to. You know, not everybody's going to be able to take care of everything on Twitch, just from Twitch. You know, if you can, fantastic, do it, live your dream. But have that understanding that it's most likely not going to happen. You know, and I know it's a downer. I'm a downer. I'm sorry. If you were here earlier, you would have heard me talking about how the new Twitch background, the dark mode, is dark like my soul.
It's not necessarily a downer though. I think like it's just a
reality
matter
check.
of yeah, and it's also like I think it's really make you think about your goals. I always talk about that, but
goals.
Well, it just seems like for so many people that full-time streaming, making this full-time career is the end game, right? Where, let's be honest, like 1% of Twitch that'll happen to, where a lot of people would probably feel just as satisfied to make a decent part-time living, or even just like stream twice a week and build a little community of people who love tabletop games or something, right? And that is fulfilling enough in its own, while also having a family and a full-time job that pays pretty good money, you know? Those are just as satisfying for a lot of people. And I don't think we should feel like, well, if I'm not full-time, if I'm not only making my living in streaming, then I could be doing more, or I'm not really fulfilled, you know? So I think it's important to talk about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People don't realize the amount of support that they need
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do this kind of stuff, like from everybody. Like it can't just be like I'm motivated, like that's enough. Nope. Nope. If you have a wife, you know, significant other, anything that like kind of is iffy on it, good luck, bro. Like, good luck.
Oh man, wow, this conversation went long. I think it's really good though.
Honestly, we could do a
If
whole
you don't have
episode on
that
this.
back end support with the person you're living with,
Yeah, it's tough.
gonna be
It's a big
fun.
rip.
Yeah, we could definitely do a full episode on this at some point. I'm sure we'll revisit it at some point.
Mhm.
hopefully I didn't miss anything in chat. There was a lot of comments on here. I'm just double checking through here. So, all right, we're hitting the end of the episode. There were a couple questions, but like nothing huge. So I think we're going to move on for today. Guys, thank you for watching so much today. I'm going to go around and do a little sign off with you guys. So Susie, where should people find you and what should they know about you?
Hi, I'm Susie. I'm a sculptor on Twitch. I sculpt collectible figurine thingies that are small. I also am the co-host of Tru's new podcast on Thursday evenings called TRUfam After Dark at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time here on the Tru channel. Come and hang out with us. You meet a whole bunch of TRUfam and have a lot of laughs. I am SUEZ_QQ. I can't do that like Val. Can't do it.
Awesome. Yeah, actually, guys, so the TRUfam After Dark show is new. We're starting a lot of new shows on here. So whether you're a partner or affiliate, the idea is to get more of the community involved on the shows. So please let us know if you want to be a part of those things. If you're listening to the podcast, a lot of you guys probably are affiliates, and we'd love to have you on these kind of shows, calling in, being a guest, any of that stuff. Shady Pyro, thanks for being back on again, dude. What should people know about your stream and everything you do?
This month I am Shady Pyro at Twitch TV.
For now.
Jeez.
Next month it might be something else. You know, my streams are mostly just playing video games with friends, talking pop culture, toys, all my Funko Pops, movies that are coming out, comics, stuff like that. Shitty Pyro. It's a true statement too. So yeah, you can find me on Shady Pyro, and see more of this potato wood.
There you go. No longer Shady Potato, nor
Shady Tater.
Shady Tater, sorry, or Simulate This, or yeah.
Listen, Green, I have to keep you busy.
Yeah, sure do.
Maybe next week is going to be GreenChord number 2.
You never know. Val, what you all know about you? You know the deal.
I am VELOKK_TV on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. If you want to send me messages and have me not respond because I don't use Snapchat. Yeah, it's crazy. But I play first-person shooter multiplayer games like Siege and stuff. And if you want to watch slightly above mediocre gameplay and have a laugh or two or whatever, then come check out the channel.
Awesome.
That's a really good sales pitch, I know.
And guys, again, I'm GreenChord, the media marketing director at TRUgaming. Couple of quick things. So this weekend is our next charity stream for Alex's Lemonade Stand, which fights childhood cancer. Please come out to our twitch.tv/TRUgaming. It's going to be 60 hours of games and events and giveaways. We're giving away a Nintendo Switch, which is pretty cool, and a lot of other items, and fighting childhood cancer with the whole help of the community, which is awesome. Also, I'm not sure when we'll do our next show. It might be Friday, it might be Monday, so stay tuned. We're playing around with scheduling since Twitch likes to announce a lot of news on Friday afternoons right after we're done the show, so we might switch things up. Also, if you are a podcast listener, thank you for listening. Please consider leaving us a review on iTunes or Stitcher, or just send us a question on Twitter, Discord, email, whatever. If you can't get to the live show, still ask questions that way, and we'll read them off here during the shows. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back soon with another episode. More good discussions. And Vel,
Blaze up.
Blaze up. See you guys.
Later.